features of organizations. Learning outcome. At the end of this session, students will be able to identify and describe important features of organizations that managers need to know about in order to build and use information systems successfully in the business. Second one, the students will be able to evaluate the impact of information system on organizations. Agenda. Here we will discuss about the organizations and features, how information system impact organizations and business firms, organization structure. So in the previous video we have discussed only list out the various features of organizations. Now we will discuss in detail about the impact and all those things. So organization structure, in the here there are total 5 kinds of structure we have to consider. That is, information system can contain 5 basic kinds of structures that are entrepreneurial. So here we have to consider small startup businesses, and machine bureaucracy we have to, in this one mid-size manufacturing firms we have to consider for the structures, and divisionalized bureaucracy we have to watch in 2000 firms we have to, professional bureaucracy here law firms, school system, hospitals we have to, and advocacy we have to, consulting firms we have to consider. So these are the 5 basic structure we have to use in the business. So other organizations features in general we have to consider before going to start about the business. First one is goal. What is goal? What is the purpose of using the, what is the purpose of starting the organizations, and how we have to start, and what are the objective of that? That is, here we have to consider, that is goals, and constituencies we have to, leadership styles, and what type of task we have to consider, what type of work we have to, and then to whom we have to allot the task, and surrounding environment also can plays a very important role in the field of organizations. Okay, so information systems impact organizations and business firms. Okay, so first one is economic impacts. First we have to know, before going to start the business, so we have to know about the various parameters as well as factors that are economic impacts. IT changes, relative cost of capital and cost of information. So these are the point. So information system technology is a factor of production like capital and labor. So IT affect the cost and quality of information and changes economics of information. So outsourcing, it means here we have to consider how much part we have to consider. So economic impact can indicate the financial background or how much financial thing required to start the business. Okay, so transaction cost theory, here we have to consider about a firm seeks to economize on transaction cost, the cost of participating in markets we have to know, vertical integration, hiring more employees, buying suppliers and distributors. IT lowers market transaction cost for firm, making it worthwhile for firms to transact with other firms rather than grow the number of employees in the company. So this is a point, it can indicate the transaction cost theory of the business. So agency theory. So in the agency theory, what are the points we have to consider? First one is firm is nexus of contrast among self-interested parties requiring supervision. So firms experience agency cost, the cost of managing and supervising, which rises as firms grows. So IT flattens organizations, it can indicate. So decision making is pushed to lower level. So fewer managers are needed, like IT enables faster decision making and increase span of control in the business. So position post-industrial organizations, in this one it can indicates, or here we have to consider organizations flatten because in post-industrial societies authority increasingly relies on knowledge and competencies rather than formal positions in the field of business. So this is just a block diagram how the organizational and behavioral impact on the organizations are in the business. So in generally the traditional hierarchy organizations with many levels of management. Second indicates the organizations that has many flattened by removing layers of management. It means in the olden days, first owner, it can comes next team leaders, team members, and employees. Now all the things, the various levels we have to consider in the business. So each and every level people have some responsibility to grow the company, how it will be, how the organizations can improve. So however, we'll go to the reduce part. So in this one, just we have to reduce the number of levels, so that can be more impact and it can give a more profit to the organization we have to consider. So this is in management levels in organizations we have to consider. So now this is a think kind right part. It means this, it can contain one question, that is, what is organization? Summarize the organization's resistance to change. Now pause the video and take some time to answer this question. Now solution for this question is, definition of organization. Just organization is structured group of people working together for common purpose, such as business, government agency, or school. It provides the framework with defined rules, roles, and hierarchies for coordinating efforts, dividing the task, communicating, and making decisions to achieve said goals. So in generally, in the previous video, we have discussed about the various features as well as the components required to start the business. Here some organization structures we have to know, how the organizations we have to start, where it can play a role, what are the different agencies we have to use in the field of organization. So it can provide the framework with defined rules as well as roles also, and hierarchies for coordinating efforts, dividing the given task, and communicating with team members, and making the different said decisions as well as task, whatever the given task is there. So organization's resistance to change, how it will be changed. So in the field of organization system, organization systems become bound up in organizational politics because they influence access to key resource information to the business. So information system potentially changes an organization structure, culture, politics, and work. So in generally, here we have to know what type of structure is there, and what type of culture we have to adapt in the business, and what are the different types of politics we have to consider, and what type of work we have to, and what type of environment we have to adapt in the business, and how the coordination will be there in the different type of employees in the structure of the business. So here organizational and behavioral impacts. So in this one, in generally, we have to know what are the different impacts, behavioral impacts on the organizations. In the first video, we have discussed about the two types of definition, technical definition as well as behavioral definition of the organizations. And what is the organizations we have to know. There here just how it can be behavioral points can impact on the organizations. So organizational factors in planning a new system, that is in that first point we have to consider. So the internet and organizations, how we have to, environment we have to, what type of environment we have to, and how the internet as well as organizations role can play the environment, and environment, what type of environment we have to adjust in the business, and what type of structure we have to form before going to start the business, culture as well as politics we have to consider, how it will be role, and then what type of culture, what type of politics we have to use and then adopt in the business field, types of organizations and style of leadership we have to count in the business. So main interest groups affected by system, that is attitude of end users in the business can plays a very important role, and what type of task we are considering, and what decisions will be made by the higher authority as well as team leaders and members also. And here the business process the system will assist, and how we have to start, what type of business we have to, and how it will be considered to grow the business, and however the technology can improve based on the technological points, the business will be get improved, and then latest technology bits we have to adapt in the business to make that business more effective. Then only it is possible to get more profit, because related to the different behavioral aspects on the business. So here just these are the various points we have discussed, and then these points we have to consider. So behavioral impact on the organization. So this is a reference I used to prepare this PPT. Thank you.